Everyone, and welcome back. So we know finals is around the corner, right? And DNA Code of Life, we did this topic. It was the first topic of the term, and now you don't want to go through the whole thing. You're like, finals is here. I want to save time, and I want to just wrap up. So this video is just a wrap up on DNA Code of Life. We're just gonna briefly go through things. I'm gonna explain. I'm just gonna make it short and simplified, okay? So let's just get into it. So we know that DNA, right, is located within the nucleus. They are fond of asking this, like where is other places that DNA is located in, and you will just say the nucleus. It's also located in the mitochondria. This we do have background knowledge on the my mitochondria kind of looks like I spelled it wrong, but yes, DNA is also located in the mitochondria, right? And I never really came across a past paper where they would ask like, what is DNA that's wrapped around proteins? That is usually called a histone. If DNA is wrapped around proteins, it's called a histone. Okay. DNA is located within the nucleus, mitochondria, and ribosome. Okay, they are really fond of asking where is DNA located. Besides whatever, maybe they will give you a nucleus on the diagram in the test, and they'll ask you where is DNA located in. It's also located in the mitochondria and the ribosomes. Or you can say mostly, so you can also say cytoplasm. It is also located in the cytoplasm. But I would prefer you saying mitochondria and cytoplasm as well as nucleus. Okay? So, this DNA that we're working with, guys, right? It has a structure. DNA has a structure. This picture here, this diagram that I tried to draw, which I probably horribly failed, this is a DNA double-stranded molecule. DNA, its original form, it's a double helix also, but you can also say it's also a double-stranded. You will not get penalized for that. If they say, what is DNA's normal structure? It's a double helix. But maybe if they maybe like ask you the difference between a DNA and RNA, then you can say double-stranded, okay? Because RNA is not double helix. We will get to that. Okay, so the structure of DNA, there's monomeres and polymeres, right? So let me explain this. Monomeres meaning the building blocks, something that makes up something. Monomeres is the building blocks, and then the polymer is the structure itself. Okay, so let me make an example of DNA, right? The structure of it. So there's monomeres, which is the building blocks, and the polymer is the structure itself. So here, this is a monomer. This is the building blocks, right? And the polymer, let me just say this. Okay, guys, I am not good at drawing, so let's just imagine this is a brick wall. Okay, a cute brick wall. Okay, but anyways, this is a monomer. This is like a building block that's gonna build this, right? This is like one of it that's gonna make this. This is the polymer, okay, and this is the monomer. So the monomer is the building blocks and the polymer is the structure itself, meaning that this block here, this individual block that you see here, makes up this bricks of a wall. Because remember, one brick, which is here, makes up this whole. It's like, am I making sense? I really hope that you guys like really understand what I'm trying to say when I'm trying to get to this, okay? Yeah, in DNA, right? This is a building, this is a monomer, sorry. This is a monomer. And the polymer is the whole structure that we see here, okay? So this monomer, which consists of a phosphate, right there, and this is a sugar, okay, and this is the deoxyribose sugar, and then over here we have the nitrogenous base. Yes, I almost said it's a nucleotide, guys. Can you guys believe it? Oh my word. Right, so this monomer over here, it's a building block of this whole DNA structure. However, this monomer of DNA has a name. that it's called a nucleotide. I'm going to write it over here. A nucleotide. Okay? Let's just, I know yellow and red don't go together, but yes, anyways, just for this video. So this whole thing is called a nucleotide. Okay, and the nucleotide consists of a phosphate, a sugar, and a nitrogenous base. This is what I was saying with the monomer and the polymer. This three structures over here make up this whole structure. So the monomer, like this block, makes up this whole blocks. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say here? However, in DNA, these three structures, it's called phosphate, deoxyribose sugar, and a nitrogenous base, and all of that together is called a nucleotide. Let's start that. So we know that this is called a nucleotide, and it consists of a phosphate, deoxyribose sugar, and a nitrogenous base. Okay, so the reason why I wrote these and draw this structure here is so that some maybe of you guys are watching here are visual learners, and when I explain my work, I love to also show visuals so you can get a picture in your head or like understand what I'm actually trying to say. Okay, so thymine. So you guys did this already in the beginning of the year, right? Let's get to the point. So this nitrogenous base, these two here, let me use a different shade. These two here is called a nitrogenous base, right? Thymine and adenine. So the nitrogenous base in DNA, there are 4 nitrogenous bases. 4. We have adenine, adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Okay? So we know that adenine always pairs with thymine and thymine always pairs with adenine. Same with guanine and cytosine. Guanine will always pair with cytosine and cytosine always pairs with guanine. I'm probably saying these names wrong, guys, but you guys get the gist. Okay, so this here is thymine and adenine. These two here is thymine and adenine. So we know that in DNA, thymine exists. Thymine is in DNA, right? And we know that there's another structure that's called RNA. So in RNA though, I'm using a different color for RNA, okay? Because I did not draw a structure for RNA. So just imagine that this is RNA, the one in blue. So RNA over here only has one strand. However, in RNA, there's no thymine. There's uracil. Yeah, uracil, you guys get me, but I'm gonna go with uracil. Okay, so in RNA there's uracil, sorry. In RNA there's uracil. However, in DNA there's thymine. So the same thing with RNA. In RNA, since there's consisting of uracil, it will pair with adenine. And there is also guanine and cytosine which will pair together as well. So this is in RNA, the blue is in RNA, and then the red is in DNA. So uracil will pair with adenine, and then thymine will pair with adenine in DNA. Okay, let's start. DNA has a double helix natural structure. However, this one that I draw here is a double stranded. Right, this here is a double stranded. Okay, and then we have monomers which are called nucleotides. Here is the nucleotides, as the monomers, it's called nucleotides. Sometimes in the they are found of asking what is the monomer of the DNA or what monomer is here. So whenever you see the word monomer and they show you a DNA structure, it's always going to be nucleotide. Okay, and then we have the sugar in DNA. So the sugar in DNA is different compared to the sugar in RNA. So the sugar in DNA is called a deoxyribose sugar, which is always going to be this. They might give you a structure and they might be like, which is this? The circle will always be the phosphate. If you're always probably going to get confused on which one, I love to show people a way to remember. So phosphate will always be the circle. If you want to remember, look at the O in phosphate. There's an O in phosphate and there's an O in this word, in this structure. So just remember this O in the structure is also the O in phosphate. So you can always just remember. And then there's also a deoxyribose sugar. So this house-like thing is called sugar. If you also want to remember it, just look at the structure. The structure is in a house shape. And what do we have in homes? If you go in home and you want to make yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, what you'll need sugar. So just remember this, like the structure of this house. Then you'll think about sugar in a house, okay? And then these things, these two structures over here that pair together are nitrogenous bases. And if it's a double stranded like this, we will know that one is adenine and one is thymine, which is the most important one is thymine. However, if you see only one structure, we will know that one that it is uracil. I really hope that I was able to talk about it. Oh, and one thing also, which they're also quite fond of asking, is they will ask this, right? What is the structure that binds the nitrogenous bases together? That is called the structure over here. They'll be asking you for this structure over here that binds these two structures. These are called weak hydrogen bonds. Okay, so this is the name of the structure over here. It's called a weak hydrogen bond. And the structure over here that bonds these phosphate, let me take a head, that bonds phosphate and the deoxyribose sugar is called a strong bond. I'm giving you guys these labels of everything just in case they ask, because at the end of the year sometimes they either go ruthless or they're like, what, let's have mercy on these kids. And yeah, it is something, okay? So I hope that we understand what DNA is. So here we have RNA, okay? So we know that RNA and DNA, two different things. As I said in the beginning, DNA will have thymine, whereas in RNA here we have uracil, and this will always pair with adenine. Okay, and then here in RNA it's single-stranded, meaning this is how the structure will probably look like. The circle with the house, which is a phosphate. We know that the house is a ribose sugar. It's a sugar. So remember, in the house you've got the sugar, and then we will have your bases. Okay, so I know I did not thought this right, but guys, you guys get the gist, okay? So yes, this is how it will look in. No, let me remove this. Yes, this is how it will look in RNA, the single-stranded. And yeah, you will know immediately that this is a RNA, and once you know that it's a RNA, you'll know that it contains uracil over there. And also the difference between RNA and DNA is the sugar. Here, the sugar is called ribose sugar, okay? Whereas in DNA it was called deoxyribose sugar. And also, if you do not see a weak hydrogen bond, it also indicates that this is an RNA, because remember, RNA is a one single strand. It does not have that, and it does not also need to have that. So I really hope that you understood this topic and that I explained. Any questions, please comment them down below on the comment section. I will be glad and happy to answer your questions.